Okay, let's be real. Opening up a 300-page annual report feels, well, it feels like a chore, right? It's dense, it's packed with jargon, and honestly, it's pretty intimidating for most of us. But what if I told you there's a way to get the gist of the whole thing in just 30 minutes? No finance degree required. Stick with me, and I'll show you exactly how. Does that sound familiar? I hear this all the time. It's probably the single biggest roadblock for smart people who want to be directors or just better investors. It's this feeling that you're missing out on some secret code. And you know what? It holds way too many people back. But what if you could just bypass all that complexity? What if there was a tool that could get you straight to the heart of the story the numbers are trying to tell you? Well, that secret weapon is here, and it's AI. Think of it as your personal translator. It takes those hundreds of pages of super dense financial data and just turns them into a simple story. In plain English, you don't need to be a finance wizard anymore. You just need to know the right questions to ask. So before we get to the cool AI prompts, we need a super quick tour of the main event, the balance sheet. Forget the textbooks. The easiest way to get it is to just think about buying a house. It really all boils down to three simple things. First up, there's what you own. You know, the house itself, the land it's on, maybe the furniture inside. For a company, we call these assets. It's all the stuff they have. Second, there's what you owe. That's your mortgage, right? The loan you took out to buy the house. For a company, those are its liabilities. It's what it owes to other people. And finally, there's what's left over. If you sold the house and paid off the entire mortgage, the cash you'd have in your hand, that's your equity. It's the part that's truly yours. For a company, that's the value that belongs to the shareholders. And here's the magic trick. Those three things are locked together by one single, non-negotiable rule. What a company owns has to equal what it owes plus what's left over. It has to balance. If it doesn't, well, that's a gigantic red flag that something is seriously wrong. So now that we've got the basics down, let's start our investigation. We're going to kick things off with a quick 2-minute health check. Think about it like this. When you go to the doctor, the first thing they do is check your vitals, right? Your blood pressure, your heart rate, because if those basic things are way off, nothing else really matters until you get that sorted. We're going to do the exact same thing for this company. And here is the exact prompt you're going to use. Just upload that annual report into an AI tool and ask this simple question. No jargon, just direct. And that little bit at the end, how things have changed since last year, that's absolutely crucial. So what are you looking for in the AI's answer? It's one of three things. A sign of strength. The company has more stuff and owes less money. Awesome. A warning sign. Debt is going up, but the company isn't getting any bigger. Or a signal to investigate. Any huge change, up or down, that makes you go, whoa, what happened there? All right, vitals are checked. Now let's move on to part 2 of our investigation, the liquidity test. This is where we ask a really simple but vital question. Can this company actually pay its bills? And this gets to a super important point. A company can look profitable on paper and still go completely bankrupt. We've all seen stories of companies posting huge profits, but then not having enough cash to pay their employees. That's because profit is just an accounting concept, a promise. But cash? Cash is oxygen. It's what a company needs to breathe, day in and day out. So how do we check if the company has enough oxygen? A great little tool is the current ratio. It's a really simple idea. For every single rupee the company has to pay out in the near future, how many rupees does it actually have on hand to make those payments? So what's a good number? Generally, anything over 1.5 is pretty strong. It means for every 1 rupee of bills coming due, the company has a rupee and a half sitting there ready to go. That's a nice, comfortable cushion. Okay, next up, let's take a hard look at debt. This is where we figure out if the company is built on solid rock or on shifting sand. And that's really the big question we're asking here. Is this a responsibly managed company? Or is it a house of cards, so loaded with debt that it could all come crashing down at the first sign of trouble? To find out, we go right back to our AI assistant. We ask it to analyze the debt structure. Notice, we're not just asking for the total amount of debt, we're asking for the types of debt and whether that overall level of borrowing is risky. And this is so important because not all debt is created equal. Different types have different hidden dangers. A bank loan might get pulled if the company breaks some minor rule. A bond might mean they have to pay back a gigantic lump sum all at once in a few years. And foreign loans, if the currency moves the wrong way, that debt can suddenly get a whole lot bigger. And now for the final and I think most important part. This is where we stop being just a reader and we become a detective. We're going to actively hunt for the hidden red flags. Here's a classic example. The company says its profits are going up, but the cash in its bank account is going down. Wait a second. Does that make any sense to you? How can you be making more money but have less cash? It's a clue. It's a sign that something just isn't adding up. Just look at this. The company's press release might be screaming about a 200-core profit. Fantastic. But if you dig in and see that their actual cash balance went down by 50 core in the same period, well, now you know that profit might not be what it seems. The cash is telling you the real story. And when you spot these things, it gives you the power to ask the right questions. And I'm talking simple, direct questions, not some fancy financial jargon. Just things like, hey, are our customers actually paying us? Or why do we have so much unsold stuff piling up in the warehouse? Or, my personal favorite, would we ever give this kind of loan to someone we weren't related to? And this brings us to the most powerful point of all. This isn't just about being a smarter investor. For anyone who sits on a board or is in a leadership position, this is a fundamental responsibility. Because after you learn these simple checks, the excuse of, oh, we didn't know, it just doesn't fly anymore. So now you have the tools, you understand the basic language. The numbers in that annual report, they have a story to tell you. A story of strength, of weakness, of risk, and of opportunity. The only question left is, are you ready to listen?